Hello folks, and welcome, just give me one sec, welcome back to Suzerain, give me 1 second here. There we go. I thought I shut my blinds properly, but there's a slightly bit, some of the neighbours, well I say neighbours, people opposite, bright white shining in. Oh, the blinds aren't fully closed yet. Right, now they are. I'm absolutely flipping frozen, folks. It's absolutely freezing. It's just doing me beard. Grey hair's poking through here. Yeah, it's absolutely flipping freezing. My hands are cold, hence why I'm dressed in a dressing gown. But anyway, hopefully the action in today's session will heat us up no end, because it's getting to the crunch time. Yes, crunch time with Rumberg, crunch time with re-election, crunch time with everything. Maybe even our live, who knows. But yeah, welcome back, Joker. Welcome, good evening to you. We're streaming a little bit earlier today. There's no football today, but my friend might be picking me up around about 8 o'clock-ish. We might be going shopping. She's not sure yet, so I said, if you want to go shopping, just pick me up. If you don't, I'm not bothered. I've got things I could be doing. I could be sat here streaming for 3 hours or so since we're starting early. But I started early just in case I do have to dash off at 8. If that does occur, at least we've had a couple of hours to do some more of this. Because yeah, looking forward to cracking on after yesterday's session. Cham, good evening to you. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, the day has been pretty busy at work. I was in the office again because I have to be in the office 4 times this week to get my days in for November. So tomorrow I have to be in final day. So I did 4 days last week, 4 days this week in the office, and trust me, the toll is catching up with me. How we used to do 5 days a week every week, I'll never know. Bloody hell, what a drag. But anyway, here I am. The reason why the stream went up a little bit late, 20 minutes ago in fact, was because I was umming and ahhing as to whether I was going to stream at all. I was like, I'm a bit tired. I thought, nope, snap yourself out of this malaise you're in. I thought, it's cold, I just want to wrap up and just do nothing. I thought, no, this is winter for you folks. I think I'm suffering from SAD syndrome. You know that syndrome that you get, seasonal affective disorder, whatever it's called? Because I feel like crap. It's cold, honestly. Darkness, coldness, and I think, as I said to my manager yesterday in my one-to-one, I said, look, I'm suffering, I think, with a bit of burnout because I've not had any leave, any holiday at all. Let alone, no holiday certainly, but not even any leave since May, and I've spent 3.5 months of that period ill, wondering what the hell's happening to me. And here we are, coming up to December, and I'm starting to feel the pinch. I think, you need to have some leave. I said, I've got leave. Don't worry, I've got leave in December. Got 10 days off over Christmas, which I'm really looking forward to. I can't explain to you how much I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm going to hopefully jet off in January. But yeah, I think it's just this past week, I've just felt a bit flat. Nagisa, welcome. Death to Rumberg, indeed, yes. That's the only thing that's dragging me through the day, the thought of Rumberg being crushed beneath our mighty new tanks. So without further ado, let's crack on here. No flim-flam, that's your flim-flam, 4 minutes worth. We've got things to be doing. Can't flim-flam when there's countries to crush, President Reign. Will he reign supreme by the end of his tenure? Who knows? It's a very bad pun, isn't it? Anyway, we got these out of the way in the last session. So let's just get rid of those and go to our late night rendezvous at home, which I was a little bit concerned about because I can't recall a late night the Rain household in the previous playthroughs, but maybe I have forgotten. Seasonal depression is horrible. Have some hot chocolate with a bit of Baileys in. If I only had some decent hot chocolate. The only hot chocolate that I've got, which is actually cocoa, which is not the same as hot chocolate, folks, is, and no offence to Americans out there that are watching, because I know some of you do watch, it's Hershey's. Hershey's cocoa. My mother bought it I can't remember why she bought it. She wanted to make something. She got it online, and I'm like, Mother, oh no. Hershey's chocolate is vile. Vile. Good evening, Malachi. Forecast for snow and you're excited. Have you ever been in snow before, Nagisa? Obviously you'll have seen it. Yeah. You can't be Cadbury's hot chocolate. Cocoa is, as I say, cocoa is different from hot chocolate. Hot chocolate, drinking chocolate, is kind of hot chocolate, kind of cocoa-y, but it's got the milk in it, the milk powder and stuff, so you don't have to mess about. And I find Cadbury's hot chocolate is the best. When I used to work in Leeds City, you've now got me into more flim flam. When I used to work in Leeds City Market when I was 16 years old, many years ago now, I worked 12 hours a day at a market stall, unpacking all the goods, working on the stall, taking all the sales, and then packed all the goods away. So I got up at 6, left the house to get to the market for 7, and got home at 6. So it's a 12-hour day for £15. Slave labour, I think you'd call it nowadays. But anyway, I was only 16, so it was spending money. But there was in the Leeds City Market, there was one of those customary kind of burger vans that you have that did also drinks, and they did Cadbury's hot chocolate, and that was my introduction to Cadbury's hot chocolate, because I used to get 2 or 3 of those a day in the winter time. Because imagine working in Leeds City Market, stood on a market stall, freezing your proverbials off, because you can't really do anything other than stand there in your gloves, your hat, your scarf, running on the spot, freezing. I would never do that job now for £100 a day, and I'm being honest, because I hate the cold and I can't think of anything worse. But yeah, so I used to run to the burger van every sort of couple of hours and get a Cadbury's hot chocolate, and the way they used to make it was just delightful. I've got the Cadbury's hot chocolate since, and I've tried to make it the same ever since, and it just never hits the spot the same as the one in the little polystyrene cup. Thicker chocolate it was, sweet, delicious. I've never managed to make it the same, but nonetheless it's still nice. Okay, yeah, Cadbury's hot chocolate is my favourite. Now a bit of Bailey's in that. Oh, now that would be good, but I need to get the hot chocolate because I haven't got any. As I said, just got that Hershey's nonsense, which isn't even hot chocolate, it's cocoa. You've never been in snow before? Oh, you're in for a treat. Or maybe you're not, I don't know. Maybe you'll hate it. Maybe, I don't think you will. You like cold weather, you're going to love it. You're probably going to roll around in it and make snow angels and get all wet and cold and horrible. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, they're mentioning the snow angels. Sorry, I was seeing that now. Oh, it'll be good. It'll be good. You'll have to take some pictures and let us know how you get on. It snowed here last week, but it was kind of rubbishy snow. It settled for all of about half a day. It was really bizarre last Saturday. This is the last flim flam before crack on. It was really bizarre last Saturday because last Saturday I was going to go to the Volkswagen garage to inquire about this car that I ended up buying on the Sunday. And the reason why I didn't go on the Saturday is because I got out of bed thinking, right, it's time to go. I think I've already told you. But yeah, it was just like, yeah, oh, looked outside. It was just white everywhere. I'm like, oh, how did this happen? Yeah, it's clearly snowed, but hey, I went to bed, no snow. Woke up, lots of snow. And it was still snowing when I walked out at 9 o'clock in the morning. So obviously it was cold, about minus something, or maybe 1 degrees. The best temperature for snow is round about kind of 1, rather than being really, really, really cold, apparently. So it was around about 0 degrees. By 6 o'clock, the same day, having started snowing and been 0 degrees, by 6 p.m, 9 hours later, it was 15 degrees. I went out to walk to my friend's house and I was thinking, oh, hat and gloves time. Walked out and I was like, ooh, what? It feels like a summer's evening. It was warm. And I'm like, got my phone out. It's 15 degrees. It was 0 degrees this morning. What the hell? It was absolutely madness. It was one of the most mild evenings we've had probably for quite a while. It just felt like a summer's evening. There was like a warmth in the breeze. It was really bizarre. British weather for you folks. You don't know how to dress. It was a massive, yeah, it's a 15 degree temperature shift throughout the course of the day. It was crazy. Craziness, right. So anyway, there you go. I only wish it was 15 degrees right now. What is it now? Oh, it's 1 degree. Hence why I'm in my dressing gown. Oh dear, I tell you. Oh, I tell you, right. What on the God's green earth is going on here? Right, let's see what this late night at the Rain household is all about. After weeks of late nights, Monica, Chiara and the Women's Rights Commission have succeeded in presenting their bill before the Assembly, only for it to fail. Uh-oh. Is she going to try to railroad me to override this? Oh, God. Look, the Assembly have spoken. Yeah, the Assembly are full of people that are stuck in the Dark Ages, though. Don't put pressure on me, dear. Come on now. I'm only the president. It's not as if I've got full control of stuff here, is it? I thought about this last night as I went to football. And I was like, I know that the president of like the United States or whatever, presidents or whatever, they've got like cabinets and things, but ultimately when we were making the decision to go to war, it was my decision as the president. So everybody's like, oh, no war, and then people going, oh yeah, war, no, kill. And ultimately I had the power to say, no thanks, diplomacy, or no, let's just smash their planes up, or yeah, let's invade their country and make them suffer. And I just thought, is that true in real life? Because obviously, let's take the President of the USA, for example. Very powerful position. Obviously got all the checks and balances in place, but ultimately, if it's a case of going to war, is it literally on the President to say yes or no? Maybe anybody that's in America can enlighten me if you're anybody watching. Because it seems that's a lot of power in one man's hands. You need congressional approval unless attacked. Oh, so you can't just say, do you know what? I say it's time for war. There's got to be, yeah. There's a unless attacked. Okay, that's it. Yeah. I would imagine. Yeah, it depends on the country. I'm thinking more kind of developed countries. I don't even know about the UK because obviously we have a prime minister system here, but I'm assuming it's probably quite similar. You know, Keir Starmer. I think it's wartime. Does he have the final say? I don't know. It's interesting to hear though. Right. So there you go. So yeah, I was just thinking about that. So I thought Mr. Rain had the power in his hands there to cause mayhem if he wanted to. It's quite a lot of power in one man's hands, which of course Mr. Rain smoking his cigar obviously gets off on it. But anyway. Let's carry on. Ooh. Oh, you devil. I left work early, expecting my wife would be in need of comfort. PM needs a parliamentary vote and then needs to ask the monarch's permission. Is that true? Needs to ask the monarch's permission. Now that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I don't think the UK is going to war anytime soon, as in being the instigator. Can you just imagine it? I think it's time to invade a country. What do you reckon, King Charles? Do you think it's time to go crush some skulls? No, obviously not. Right. But obviously, Monica is not at home and in need of comforting, it seems. What a big disappointment for Mr. Rain. Yeah, the President of Russia probably doesn't need parliamentary backing, though. I quite agree. Somebody did say that Mr. Rain is the equivalent of Putin, so, yeah. Yeah. I get it for the law stuff, but for the war stuff, that's quite a big decision. So, although it might be unconstitutional for him to interfere, I think actually, if there was any time for him to interfere, that might be it. Although, obviously, if it got to his desk, we're going to war, it's gone through so many processes before that point, he's still not going to turn around and say, you know what, no, not on my watch, Sonny Jim. I'm invoking my right to say no on this occasion. I don't think it's going to happen, is it? Anyway, let's carry on. So my wife is not here. Mr. Rain, probably feeling a bit frisky. This is worse than the pizza situation. So we just sit on the couch and nod off to the land of Nod. Another frozen TV dinner on lap, going cold. When I heard the key turn in the lock, Monica stumbled. Oh, I remember this one. It's where she comes in drunk. Stumbled into the hall. Honey, I'm home. Hello, Crazy Canuck. Welcome. Are we feeling grumpy? Because we were coming back thinking she needs comforting and we were ready for rock and roll and she's not here and now we're falling asleep, frozen dinner on lap. Where were you? Don't you know how late it is? She can do as she pleases. She's her own woman. Kiss her. Yeah, we'll just inquire where you were. Where were you? In probably a concerned manner. Where were you? I'm just getting very worried here. Not at all any other reason for asking this question. What are you doing? I was just having a few drinks with Chiara. Oh, drinks was it now? All right, okay. We were so close to winning, Anton. Those goddamn assembly pricks ruined it all. She collapsed onto the couch and buried her head in her hands. Oh, there. So you could have invited me to the commiseration. So you decided to get juiced. Well, yes. Isn't it what a man would do? Let me think about this. What would I do if I didn't get my own way? No, I'd probably do something that involved force, anger, and then I might have a cigar and a whiskey. Maybe, I don't know. I usually get my own way, you see. It doesn't happen to me often where I don't. Obviously, Mr. Rain speaking here. I believe you're turning into a politician, Mrs. Rain. Get used to it, baby. Seriously, Anton, this is what I want to do. I've never felt so alive. Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, I've got something to show you. Framed photo we took from the office of our university days. Look at this. Oh, wow. Oh, look at us. Well, she's here now. Well, I'm still as madly in love with you as I was the day the photo was taken, you know. Mrs. Rain. And she smiled, took my hand, and wordlessly led me upstairs to the bedroom. There you go. Comforting was on after all. Right. You'd ordered the person who wronged you to have an accident. Exactly. So, Miss Suno who, sorry? Who? Suno who? What are you talking about, Suno? Don't ring a bell. Right, Istord, Rumbergian plane shot. Iosif Lancia reports that the Rumbergian warplane was shot down by anti-aircraft upon violating the Sordish airspace. According to the report of the General Staff, the plane was flying over the town of Haugen and did not retreat upon... We gave him a warning. We gave him a warning. Do not cross us, Rumberg. Do not cross us. CSP launches Unified Intelligence Agency. Okay, very good. Good for you. Arcadian Treaty Organisation demands transit rights from the Confederacy of Yark Trallis. Very good. I'm more interested in news closer to home, if you don't mind. One-on-one interview from Kairoot. Ooh. Lucian Gallard organised an interview for the presidency on the internationally renowned One-on-One. The famous journalist Tuomo Saka will be asking the questions. The crew of One-on-One will arrive next week in Leshaven. Ooh, time for the big screen, baby. Let's get ourselves ready. The Baglandian Navy spotted in full force at Heliland, and they have our full backing. We scratch your back, you scratch ours. Sordish Navy and Conriat is on standby. Oh yeah. Let's crush those Agnolian dogs. Oh, look there! Blockade has begun. Oh boy, Swordland's largest military parade ever. Oh yes, has been announced. During the glorious day, tanks will roll, jets will fly, and our soldiers will march. Young and old, Swordish citizens will come together to once again cheer for our soldiers. Oh yes, and I will be joining the parade with a motorcade and drive through Victory Avenue. Geopolitical news, how's this been spun? Following Rumberg's demands for reparations from Swordland, the tensions have increased dramatically between the two countries. Yesterday, a Swedish warplane has been shot by the Rumberg anti-aircraft systems, and all of the pilots on board have been killed. As per the information from Rumberg, the Swedish warplane had trespassed, which was a load of balls. Immediately after the incident, Swordland retaliated by sending their warplanes into Rumberg airspace and destroying a Rumbergian jet. The tensions between Rumberg and Swordland continue to increase as the largest troop deployments in the last decade began in eastern Makopa. Oh boy, oh yeah. War's coming, folks. Ooh. Re-election's happening. This interview will go down like a lead balloon. Oh, come on now. It's Mr. Rainey speaking of here. We're going to tell people how it is and how it needs to be, and they can like it or lump it. Lucian Gallad's going to be like, no, just calm down here. We need to be personable. This is your opportunity. Remember what we said, shop window. Wetting babies' heads and all that. It's campaign time. Do your bit. That fiery facade, that, you know, it's not even a facade, it's real. That fiery side of you, just dampen it down just for the interview, okay? Sensitive, Mr. Rain. Appeal to them. I don't want to. Rain's 57 campaign advertisement. Let's have a look at this. Ooh! Personal wealth. The election is approaching fast, and a massive election campaign effort is taking shape. The public campaign funds available to the party are covering most of the costs, but we could put our own funds to increase the chances of victory. Not only are we greedy, of course, but we do want to be re-elected, okay? It's also worth bearing in mind that we're getting extra campaign funds from Mr. Caronti on top of the regular campaign funds. So I think medium scale, leave us with a bit of money to play with. I don't want to bankrupt ourselves. So medium scale campaign ad campaign. Caronti's going to be on side for the newspaper side of things. He's also going to fund as well. So with all that combined, we must have a good chance. Come on now. If we can just, we must do. The growth line's looking pretty healthy. The debt's not too bad. Yeah, I think medium scale here is required. Read the report. Low investment synergy reported. Oh, synergy between various investments remains low. I thought we had good synergy. It told us we had medium synergy last time, but I don't think it was investments. I think it might have been something else that was medium synergy. But the investment side of things, apparently low synergy. Oh, election speech. I love a good speech. Cupboard, enjoy your dinner. What is it? Let us know. Just to make me hungry, because I'm rather peckish right now. This is another thing about the cold weather, is that it must be like a fat storing thing, being a mammal and all that. That appetite in the winter, through the roof. I just want to eat. I just want to eat like nobody's business. Pasta and meatballs. Well, if you know me well enough, Cupboard, you know that I'm a massive, massive pasta fan. Spaghetti bolognese, chicken pasta, pasta meatballs, pasta carbonara, penne alla arrabbiata, any pasta with any kind of sauce. Tuna pasta bake, pasta. I could eat pasta every day, pretty much. I'd probably get bored of it eventually, but yeah, I could eat pasta till it's coming at me. Same with curries. Absolutely love curries. If I just lived on a diet of curries and pasta, I'd be a happy man. And especially if you eat veggie curries, which I'm a big fan of, your aubergines, your cauliflowers, your potatoes, your carrots, your peas, a bit of paneer thrown in there for good measure, bit of healthy fat. You get a lot of your vitamins, and it's all fresh spices, you know, your turmeric, and your cumin and your masala, everything. It's just natural spices and water, usually, most sort of veggie curries. That's your kind of base, bit of tomato, onions, garlic, ginger. These are all fresh ingredients. So when you have a freshly made proper veggie curry, it's actually quite a healthy dish. When it's cold, you feel like having ice cream. I've got ice cream in the freezer. My mum bought some ice cream, and it's Haagen-Dazs ice cream, which is my favourite ice cream. Not that I'm a snob or anything, but Haagen-Dazs I just find creamy, lovely. Not the biggest Ben & Jerry's fan. Much prefer Haagen-Dazs. And I love it, but I've not touched it. It's been there for 2 weeks. It's cold. Why would I want to eat ice cream in the cold? However, yesterday I think I mentioned it, I was supposed to have my sticky toffee. No, was it yesterday? I was supposed to have, no, it was the day before yesterday, but yesterday after football, I was supposed to have the sticky toffee, not the sticky toffee pudding, because I had that on Tuesday. The sticky toffee loaf cake that I told you about was still left over, so I was going to have that yesterday. So I'm going to have it tonight instead, because do you know what happened yesterday after the stream? And I played football and came back from football. Do you know what happened? I fell asleep. What a surprise. And woke up at like midnight. I was like, oh, better go to bed. So I'm going to have the rest of that sticky toffee loaf cake. But instead of having it with custard, I'm actually going to have it with ice cream. Because sticky toffee pudding or sticky toffee cake or whatever, warmed up in the microwave so the toffee sauce is all bubbly and caramelly. That on ice cream, Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream, so that the ice cream goes all soft and melty. It's going to be rather delicious. In fact, because I'm hungry, I'm dribbling here already. So that's going to be my dessert this evening. Anyway, enough talk about food. It's time for an election speech. I love a good speech. Are we going to get speech music? No. We're getting fluffy music. I wanted the kind of dun 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 music because I'm going to give a rousing speech here. The sun was starting to peek through the blinds of my suite in the Grand Chariot Hotel in Anrica. I hadn't slept at all that night. I was too busy thinking about how I would rally my party's Conservative base at today's election kick-off. I don't think our Mr. Rain is the kind of guy to be kept awake worrying about how to rally the Conservative base. We're quite a very conservative person. No, Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream. Some vanilla ice creams, your Carte d'Or vanilla ice cream, your Ben & Jerry's vanilla ice cream is bland. Yeah. The Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream is sweet and creamy. It's just got you can taste the vanilla properly, as in the vanilla pod, proper taste of vanilla, rather than just nothingness, if that makes sense. Because some vanilla stuff, there's no flavour to it, whereas this is, you can taste the fresh vanilla almost in it, and it's just creamy, the texture. Don't get me wrong, I like flavoured ice creams too, but this vanilla ice cream has its own unique flavour that you don't need anything with it. It's just absolutely delicious. Godfather, welcome back. I don't think this ring would worry too much about politics, except for his money, exactly, which we've spent most of our money on an ad campaign. Anyway, yeah, so the Haagen-Dazs, yeah, give it a try, Nagisa. Let me know what you think of it, because I just absolutely love it. But my favourite ice cream, which I've not had for a while, I'm going to have to find it, actually. And Haagen-Dazs did this flavour, is peanut butter, because I absolutely love peanut butter. Ben & Jerry's did a peanut butter ice cream, maybe they still do, and Haagen-Dazs did one, and both equally, to be fair. Even the Ben & Jerry's was pretty good. I'm going to have to... I'm going to get on Google. How could you order ice cream without it melting to get to your house? Maybe you have to order it through like something like, I don't know, Morrison's Fresh or something. Yeah, well, Haagen-Dazs is expensive too. It's about, at the moment, I think, it used to be about £3 odd, but obviously inflation. It's probably about £4.50 a tub now. Unless you've got a club card and it's on offer. They keep them in cool bags. It's going to be a bit odd though, isn't it? What are you ordering, mate? I'm just ordering two tubs of ice cream. You don't want any fruit, veg, meat? Nah, just 2 tubs of ice cream, please. I think you've got to order 40 quid's worth before they deliver, which is easy, because I'll just order some rum. A couple of bottles of rum, couple of tubs of ice cream. What a delivery, what an order. We know how to party in this house. It's more than a £5. I'm not, forget it, I'm not paying that for some flipping ice cream in my life. Goodness me. Things really have gone up in the world. Olive oil? Want some olive oil? £6. Excuse me? I'm frying my chips in this. I'm not... What? What the hell's happened to the world? Goodness grief. Right, let's go. Lecture kick-off time. Right, I was just putting on my clothes when two soft, sharp knocks, Lucian's knock, came to at the door. Obviously his picture's there, but soft, sharp knocks are always Lucian's knocks. People like Mr. Rain. That's what happened. Oh God, it's very true. If Mr. Rain was in charge of this country, we'd be paying £10 for Ben and Jerry's right now. Right. Good morning, sir. Morning, Lucian. I should have said I hope you bought coffee. We're a coffee fiend. Lucian unclasped his briefcase and took out a small, disc-shaped device. After scanning the room with it, he gave a satisfied nod. Oh, for wiretaps? It's about your investigation into the oligarchies. Oh, please tell me you've got some news about Mr. Tusk. As you know, Mr. Cronte is no longer under investigation, but there's been a very interesting update regarding Mr. Tusk. Oh, now then. I've never liked that slobbering man. Tell me, Lucian, tell me. Lucian pulled out a folder and opened it. The Secret State Police have looked further into Walter Tusk's foreign ties and found some very unsettling information. One of his corporation's subsidiaries is directly involved in smuggling and selling Rumbergian Ka-74s within Sword... What now? What did you say? Just repeat that back to me, Lucian, please, just so that I haven't imagined what you've just said there. That traitorous dog. Oh dear. Mr. Tusk, you've meddled with the wrong person, I'm afraid. You are... Oh. Out of all the things that we could have uncovered about him, this is probably the worst that he could have done to stoke the fires of Mr. Rain. Absolutely horrendous, pal. This is treason on the highest level. There's no doubt Tusk must be punished. Punished? Oh, don't you worry, Lucian. Punishment will be very harsh. Would you like to go forth with his arrest and trial, sir? Trial? I was thinking, forget the trial part, so that he can blab about certain things that he knows about me. I was thinking Secret State Police number. I was thinking it's a Suno-Livia-Suno kind of situation here, Lucian. I want him gone without a trace. It's probably a bit suspicious when one of the wealthiest men in the country vanished, to be fair. It's an option. Oh, God. I need to take my dressing gown off. I'm getting warm now. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Look, this is not like some financial irregularities we're dealing with here. This is high treason. He knows how I feel about Rumberg. I mean, we're not ordering it to happen right now. We're just expressing what we want. We'll see what Lucian has to say first, whether it's actually possible. But yeah, this is a heat of the moment. I want him dead. Lucian looked at me questioningly for a second, and then nodded smooth. Oh, have we made the decision? And I was just speaking out a bit of diarrhea, Lucian. I wanted your opinion first. I just thought maybe you might just advise me. I didn't think you'd actually just do it. Clearly I'm in a state of anger. Just let me calm down for a moment and think about this. And if you say so, sir, I'll give the orders to Mr. Greaser. Now that's settled, I'll let you prepare for your rally. Wait, Well, there you go. Oh, dearie me. This can't go well, surely. This is a powerful man. He's got contacts. He's probably got contacts in the secret state police. Oh my God. And there's no going back. We can't reload it. I was genuinely under the impression that he was going to say this wasn't the defining decision-making line. I was just kind of getting it out there. What do you think, Lucian? Oh, I think that's a bad idea. Oh my God. Fine. We'll see what happens. Oh no. I almost forgot. The Archpriest of Dare couldn't be present today, but wanted to relay a message of support to you and your family. What did he say? I bless the... Oh, I forgot about that. I bless the rains down in Anrica. Oh, God. Oh, this could be catastrophic for our... Oh, no. Some secretary that nobody gives a damn about vanishing is one thing. Mr. Tusk vanishing is not going to be something that can be swept under the carpet without a highly suspicious situation happening. But on the other hand, if it comes off, he can't blab about my ties to Caronte, because if you remember, he said, "Don't you know? I know about you and Mr. Caronte, so don't do anything stupid." Is that the guy with the ties to the Mafia? No, the guy with the ties to the Mafia is Mr. Caronte, who we are in league with at the moment. So, Mr. Tusk is the guy that we want rid of, but I'm thinking probably because it's Tusk, having him hoiked through the courts on trial would send a good message to everybody out there that nobody is above the law, and it would probably be a better thing. But what's done is done. Right. It's probably one of those situations where Lucian's gone out of the room and Mr. Rain's thinking, do I really want him dead? I mean, I don't want him dead, but ultimately I don't think it's going to be a very clean thing, this could have some serious ramifications. Although, we've got the backing of Mr. Caronte. We could tell Mr. Caronte that we need this situation not in the papers. Just work your magic. I've done you a good favour, good deed. The investigation has vanished into you. Just make sure that none of this Mr. Tusk dead situation comes back to me. If you can do something, please, and make it happen. You've got ties to the Coronellis. I'm sure you can do something. Anyway, as that's whizzing through our head, we put the finishing touches to my morning speech whilst doing my tie-up and having a sip of strong coffee and, yeah. Yeah. Bow tie. Because we're not one of these presidents that's got a clippy bow tie, you know. It's a proper bow tie that you have to tie yourself. None of this clippy nonsense. Alright. And then we suddenly thought to ourselves, you know what? Yeah. Mr. Tusk dead? Yeah. Because I can. Because I can. Yes. I never liked that man anyway. Rumbergian KA-47s? How dare he! Anyway. It's also a real cigar, not a fake one. Exactly. Hello, Amin, welcome. Good to see you back again. A few hours later, I was waiting in the wings at the Norsord Auditorium in Anrica. In the audience were several thousand of my conservative supporters. And just in case you missed it, because you just joined, Amin, I know you were here yesterday and enjoying the session, we've just ordered Mr. Tusk dead. We've ordered his death because we found out that he's smuggling Rumbergian weapons into our country. If it was other weapons from other countries, we might have let it slide. But weapons from our main enemy? No. Mr. Tusk is hopefully going bye-bye. Right, anyway. And that's put a spring in our step, and now we are standing on the podium. Swordish flag behind us, giant banner that read, "Your land, my land, Swordland. What the hell? Victory is close. It's gotta be. Your land, my land. It sounds like some kind of flipping advert on TV. With a little catchy jingle. Everyone's cheering. Hi everyone. Though Mayor Curtin Lest was now part of the opposition as a member of the NFP, it seemed most of Enrique was still on my side. Oh, this is good news. Oh, I like the reception here. Oh, I'll come back here again. Peter gave a short speech introducing me. Then it was my turn. I stepped behind the podium. Took a deep breath. Sons and daughters of Swordland. Over the past 3.5 years, many enemies have tried to destroy me and this fine country. Yet Swordland has prevailed. Under my administration, we are stronger than ever. With my re-election, I will finish pulling Swordland's economy from the depths of recession. Unprecedented harmony. We can't say that. Under my presidency, Swordish citizens is united like never before, probably in grief. I will continue my fight against the enemies of Swordland, both internal and external. And I remain committed to stamping out the corruption that has plagued Swordish corporations for far too long, starting with dusk. Thunderous applause erupted. Thunderous. Swordland has changed, but the USP remains as strong as ever. There has been tremendous progress made in this term, and there is more yet to come. I and Vice President Vector shall lead this country into a bright new era. A roar shook the hall. It is time, my fellow swords. A new dawn is upon us, and it begins right here and right now. We've got to say the country's words here. Morgner Westcor! Get on the rain train. My God. The audience enthusiastically finished the saying as streamers shot out of the cannons behind me. My re-election campaign had officially begun. I stepped down from the podium and smiled. Woo! What's this? Recovered trade volume? Woo! Recent diplomatic efforts have led to the successful signing of a comprehensive trade deal with a significant trade partner, which has resulted in a noticeable recovery of trade volume. Woohoo! Positive impact on the economy. Increased trade has led to the creation of new jobs and an overall boost in economic activity. This line is flip-flopping about, but ultimately it's not massively negative. Planned economy. We have stuck to our guns. We have officially got a planned economy, and it's not doing too bad. Not doing too bad at all. What's happening here? Marcel Caronti. Oh, hang on! Marcel Caronti! Hang on! Shooby-dooby-dooby! Why is his name gone into a thingy? Oh, I wondered if that was actually a sign that Mr. Tusk is dead. Briefing on the current economy is very important. What's happening? Why have we got news? Swordland. Tusk is dead! He's dead! He's gone! We at Swordland today know it's bad form to celebrate the demise of one's nemesis. However, we can't help but feel smoke over the news that Walter Tusk, a man who tried to undermine this paper's publisher and its CEO countless times, was found dead. His untimely departure from this world, possibly related to his involvement in Rumburgian weapon smuggling, should serve as a lesson to all money-hungry oligarchs. Be careful whom you double-cross. Stocks plunge as Tusk found dead. The stock market reeled from the news that successful businessman Walter Tusk was found dead in his mansion. He had dined with a female companion at a nearby steakhouse, then the two retired to his home where the companion claimed he suddenly collapsed. Police officers could find no evidence of foul play. Oh no. Oh, what a shame. Oh, he leaves a vacuum. I'm sure Mr. Cronty will fill it fine. Young Swords drive NFP recruitment. Don't forget we funded the Young Swords with our... did we fund it? I think we did. In the last session. Oh yes. Recruiting rally for NFP. We like the NFP. I know they're supposed... another party, but we have very much allied views on things. Oh yes. What happened was whilst he was eating pasta and meatballs in the cupboard, we've just happened to have had Mr. Walter Tusk assassinated. Livia Sooner was just a practice. Massive Rain 57 campaign begins. As this 1957 campaign closed in, President Anton Rain started his massive campaign. Posters and leaflets are distributed across every city, big or small, in Swordland. Oh yes, it's on, baby, it's on. And Mr. Rain is feeling confident now. Tusk is gone, Caronti's taken control. The economy meeting better be positive, because if it is, that's going to be the icing on the cake. I don't think it is going to be, but you never know. Yeah. We've got a strong military. Andrika went raucous. Oh yeah, it's looking good, man. It's looking good. Radical! Young Sword oppresses bluish protesters. Oh, shut up. Shut up. I don't even want to waste my time reading your trash. It's not even good enough to wipe my arse. CSP announces Universal Minority Rights Convention. Very good. You go there with your minority rights conventions. First long-range bombers deployment, a defining moment. Carl, you can stop looking into Tusk now. Yes, you can. Sounds like we poisoned him, actually. Clutched his heart and dropped dead. Oh, heart attack. That's what happens when you get to a certain age and end up whining and dining a nice young lady. You get a bit too excited and it's a bit of a hazard, isn't it? A bit of a risk. Never mind, Mr. Tusk. Right, briefing on the economy. Hopefully this is not all doom and gloom, because we have put some things in place since the last economy meeting, but I'm not convinced that we've done enough. I arrived at the Ministry of Economy and proceeded upstairs. An assistant waiting by the door to the meeting room took my jacket. I opened the door and entered the largest boardroom in the building. Simon was sitting alone with a glass of water and his documents laid out before him. He stood up when I entered and approached me. After a quick handshake, I took a seat. Good afternoon, Mr. President. Good afternoon. A knock was heard on the door and Peter entered the room. I hope I'm not late. Just on time, Peter. Just on time for a change. Did you start yet? No. Not yet. Right, now that everyone is here, let's begin. As you all know, we're here to review the economic progress we've made over the past term and decide how to proceed. I will brief you quickly on what we have done so far, just as a refresher. Okay? We'll just wave our hand, yeah. Onwards. He gathered the documents in a pile in front of him and adjusted his glasses. From the pile he produced two booklets and handed them to us. Our extra focus on the economy has resulted in some small-scale positive growth. Small scale, but positive is still positive. The extra resources have been a boon to my ministry. Well, I like a positive start, Simon. That's very good. Carry on. It would be great if we followed up on this focus during our next term. Let's take a deep dive into the details now. Yes, sorry, it's my telegram. I do apologise. I don't know how to... I should turn those off, actually. Please turn to page 5. Rifle through to page 5. Let's start off with our economy plan. I would like to say we are on track, but unfortunately, I cannot. Our decisions so far have not been in line with our initial intention for a planned economy. Well, they mostly have. I mixed it up a little bit with the prisons and the schools, but everything else is kind of planned, isn't it? Oh, it's the inconsistency of it all. Shit. The economy has taken a hit due to the inconsistency. That's the price we pay for doing the right thing. I stand by my decisions. I agree. History will prove us right. Just pointing out the facts here. Let's move on with the report. Please turn to page 16. Why can't you make these pages be in order? 5, 16, 32... Just flipping... God's sake. Right. Status of trade and the effects of foreign policy. I'm happy to say that our trade has increased since the beginning of our term. More positives. I mean, this is 2 positives and 1 negative, but this is all sounding very good. I'm thinking we might have pulled this around, actually. Re-election is a cinch. Carry on, Simon. I'm feeling in a good mood right now. You're really lighting up the room with your positivity. We are on the right path. More trade means a more vibrant economy, which means unbridled economic development. Please turn to page 17. Oh, just 1 page over. Okay, excellent. Yeah, there we go. What's this page all about? In our attempt to repair Swordland's economic system, we have generally sided with businesses. Even though the country benefited financially, the people certainly weren't fond of it. Listen, we are trying to get out of a recession. Sacrifices have to be made. You can't have it best of both worlds. When we are out of the recession, we can then focus on the people. Of course we can. And that's as much as I will tell them on national TV if necessary. The bad news, however, is our living standards are decreasing. We've been receiving more and more complaints about our welfare systems. Yes, I know. And as I said to both Chiara and Pascal, next term different things will happen. You can't fund everything at once, Simon. You know that best of all. That's not good. Not for them, and certainly not for our election prospects. Exactly. It's fine. Trust me, I'm the president. Some of our industries have also been knocked down to their knees by our recent taxations. The demand for these goods has decreased drastically, which led to businesses in these industries being shut down. A few businesses closing. It's not the end of the world, is it? Some people are calling the government out for infringing on their personal liberty. Apparently some even filed lawsuits saying the taxes violate their human dignity. Their lawyers argued for them that they need it for mental health treatment. Now, to page 34. That's probably the worst news you've given us so far, but if that's the worst news, a few businesses have closed and some people need mental health treatment, then I would consider this still a successful meeting so far. What's that? 34? Yeah, okay. Very good. 34, excellent. Now what? Production in our country has nearly doubled since the start of our administration. It is a great success. There you go. There you go, you see. Production success. Doubled, Simon. Doubled. That's not enough. I mean, strive for excellence, I assume. But no. Good work. Good work. We, of course, can do better, but for now, doubled is certainly good. You're a wizard, You're a wizard, Simon. That's another Easter egg, surely. Teamwork makes it happen. Moving on to logistics. Well, we've opened the high-speed railway. This has got to be good news, surely. We have an infrastructure problem, and the economy won't truly flourish until we solve it. What infrastructure problem, Simon? We've opened a brand new high-speed railway, for heaven's sake. We need to make new roads and improve the existing ones. People and businesses alike have been complaining. Yes, we can't put the money into a high-speed railway and the roads at the same time. I'm assuming you're telling me this for our next term, of course. And yes, we will focus on the roads and the health and the education. Rumberg will be hopefully cowed by our military might. We maybe can cut a little bit here and there. Well, it's fine. It's fine. Very good. Yes, very good. Yes. Turn to page 57. I have prepared a chart. Oh, we all love a good chart now. For us visual people. Show me the chart. Hopefully it's got positive and lots of green on it. Our inflation rate is currently at a staggering 49%. Way up from 10. It might be the highest in Swordland's history. Oh dear. Okay. That's expensive goods compared to how they used to be. Well, okay. The Suzerain has been wildly fluctuating as a result, and consumer prices have gone up. Which means that Swedish citizens are angry at us. Yes. Well, if we're not re-elected, then we can't help them, can we? So we must be re-elected to put this right, clearly, and I have a plan to do so. So it's fine. Perfectly fine. Agreed. Mr. President, do you have any questions so far? Tell me about the GDP, all this extra, trade and production. Surely the GDP must be a good number. Our current GDP is at 141 billion Swedish krona, a major decrease, in fact, from the 310 billion we had at the beginning of our term. Oh. As per the latest stats, the economy shrank 18% in the last 4 years on average. In short, we are suffering from a decreased economical capacity. Debt situation. We've got more debt. More debt. Oh, happy days. Things are not looking very good, are they? Financially here. What time is footy? There is no footy today, Cham. This is a football-free evening. Football's cancelled today. I did say that my friend might ring me around about 8ish, though. But we'll see. Exactly. This is what I can't understand. We've had more trade. I can't understand it. I thought some of these numbers might be better than last time, but they're all exactly the same as the last playthrough. Okay. I would still consider this as an economic loss as we inherited a recession. We essentially increased the possibility of an uncontrollable debt spiral. Unemployment? I'm not even going to ask. Those are all the questions I had. Very well. I want to quickly highlight our budget expenditure. My numbers indicate that overall we have been fairly balanced in spending our government budget. A balanced approach is good, however we shouldn't forget that money is not just spent money that is not spent is just pieces of paper. Now, going into the elections and hopefully a second term, we need to decide on the way forward. One thing is clear, we need a bigger budget. We shouldn't start our next term with a budget deficit. What should we do, Mr. President? Any ideas? Well, you're the money man. An international loan from MFI. Obviously, MFI sounds like the furniture place. Was it furniture? The kitchens they did, MFI? Should we take this loan? We took this loan last time and it caused massive outcry because we were relying on this MFI thing. It didn't go down too well. And we're not massively in negative. We're only -1. We might even get that back through natural means before the end of the session. Exactly. No, I think this caused a lot of problems last time, and it makes us look like we can't stand on our own 2 feet. So do you know what? Nothing comes to mind, Simon. We're not that bad. As you said, money, pieces of paper. Very well, sir. Now that's out of the way. During our first term, we have faced many challenges in the midst of a recession. We have worked hard to fight against the odds, but it was not enough. He wiped his glasses and swallowed before continuing. Mr. President, you may have surmised from the numbers I have given you that the economy has worsened considerably over the course of our administration. I wanted to prepare you for the truth. This is no longer a mere recession. We've entered a period that historians might reasonably refer to as the Swordish Great Depression. We have broken our promises and failed our people. My only hope is that future generations will be able to forgive us when they look back. Oh. Now then. Now then, now then, now then, now then, now then. Should we place the blame on Simon's shoulders? He already sounds like he already sounds like a defeatist. And defeatists we can't have for the next term, Simon, I'm afraid. We need positivity. All this doom and gloom, I'm afraid, is not good enough. Simon, and this is our Mr. Rain. He's heartless when it needs to be, you know. All of the blame falls on your shoulders, Simon. I have been advised by you, and you have failed. Failed! Had you done your job properly, we would not be in this mess, would we? Let's be honest now. Peter? Am I speaking out of turn? I don't think so. Exactly, Peter. Remain silent. So, you will resign, Peter. Simon, sorry. Before the next term. Gracefully, you can have a party, but I need a fresh perspective for the new term. No offence. Of course. No offence. Oh, I feel so bad for Simon because he's a pretty good advisor, isn't he? How's the footy going, league and cup wise? We usually play the cup at the end of the season, so there's no cups. Sunday league we're third, but we've got games in hand, and if we win those, we go top. On Thursday we're second, just over halfway through the season. Sunday we're about a third of the way through the season. So all in all, not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. I won't even talk about Tuesday, because Tuesday, although we have a team, it's not a team because we have a different team every week. It's just basically it's like a team of ringers, really. So I think we're about third on a Tuesday with no chance of winning it. But yeah, Thursday and Sundays are the two main days. Yeah, all for the same team, yeah. Let's see how Simon reacts to this. I feel so bad for him, I really do. I really do. What the hell is this? Oh. So Simon, yes, as I said, time to resign. What? But Mr. President. Oh, he's not going to take it well. I thought maybe he might say, "Do you know what? You're right, Mr. President. I'm silly. I've failed miserably. I feel horrible. But this is what Mr. Rain would do. He's a cutthroat man. Can't have failures in our cabinet. You failed. Recession through the floor. I mean, what the hell's happened here, Simon? You started off so well with your briefing, and then it's just gone horribly sour. Anton, are you nuts? Simon here knows more about the economy than any of us. We can't lose him. Oh no! Okay, we're We're getting... see you later, I mean. We're getting an option to turn around here. Giving him a second. Maybe that's just a shot across the bows he needs. But we know... This is the thing, right? It's a bit of... Obviously gaming, because we know what happens. He's going to resign anyway. He's going to resign anyway. So we're just getting in there first. No, do you know what? We're being harsh here. Don't worry, Simon. No, I'm sorry, Simon. I'm sorry. It seems like a crazy decision. I know. But, yes, we need a scapegoat for this. Clearly, I can't take the blame. And if anybody's going to take the blame, it's the head of the Minister of Economy. Because why would it not be? Eh? Why would it not be? We can always find a replacement. Gus Manger is not bad at numbers. Maybe a member of the Business Council. Having improved himself could get his arse in gear. But there's nothing left for him to do. Between now and the end of the game, there's no more economical decisions to make. I don't think there is. We're already in a depression, and we're already talking about the next term. No, do you know what? We're going to continue our hard line here. So, I mean, we also have to think about the rest of the ministers and how they're going to react to this news, I suppose. And if I start firing people before my campaign is even started in earnest, that might not be a good look. You know, cabinet in disarray. But on the other hand, for the election campaign, when people say the economy's crashed, we can say we've dealt with it because we fired the man that was responsible. Can't we? Can't we? Oh my God. Surely there will be somebody willing to step into the man's shoes. Oh, this is a tough decision. This is tough. I've got to take my own personal views because I think this is awful. Out of this, obviously. What would our Mr. Rain do? Simon is a scapegoat. Simon takes the blame. We we can use that as an election spin. Dealing with people that are incompetent. I'm a strong ruler. I'm a strong leader. And strong leadership means firing people that can't do their jobs. This might whip the rest of the cabinet into shape. I don't accept failure, I'm afraid. So anybody else wants to fail in their jobs, crack on at your peril, isn't it? Yeah. It's painful, it could cause issues, but no. This is the kind of decision I think Mr. Rain would make right now. Simon, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I enjoyed the meal with the business council. It was a lovely day. He gave a great speech. The wine was flowing. We all got merry. This is not personal, Simon. You'll understand. This is purely politics. Don't do it. Oh, sorry, it's too late. I understand, Mr. President. I'm glad you do, Simon. As I said, nothing personal. I will finish up my work and pack up my desk. No, I didn't say now. I said, before the next term. Oh, I should have reread that properly. Before the next term. Ah, I was thinking maybe at the next term. Straight up evil. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's straight up evil. It's not straight up evil. It's firing a man that failed me. Clearly he didn't advise me well. Nothing evil about it. Thank you for this opportunity. No problem, Simon, no problem. Mr. Vice President, I feel so horrible. I feel awful, honest to God. I actually like Simon. Sorry, Simon. Thank you for all the hard work you have done, Simon, says Peter, probably in shock. We didn't expect this at the meeting, did we? You're going away for an hour, and so far Anton has poisoned a businessman and his piece on the side and fired a competent member of cabinet. Yes, exactly. I should be getting back to my office. His voice cracked. Oh no, no! Sorry, Simon. I hate this. This is the perils of role playing. I'm afraid sometimes you make decisions that absolutely pain you as a person, but I'm not the president. I am the president, actually, technically, but you know what I mean. Oh, no, Simon, just don't do anything stupid, Simon, please. Just retire. He's got a big mansion. He was talking about his pool and everything. He's got somewhere he can retire to. Although, can he afford it now that he's not getting paid? That's all, then. Oh, he's laying it on. Oh, I mean, my president's probably not feeling a bit of remorse right now. He's probably sat there, smiling. That's all, Simon. That's all. Thank you for coming. This is awful. Absolutely horrible. The meeting dispersed. I hurried to the cafeteria to get a cup of coffee. It's coffee time, Peter. Who's next on my hit list? Oh, dropping like flies they are. Oh, growth light went red. Oh my God. Oh no. Well, we're already in recession. Oh, hellfire and brimstone. Read the report. Tons of salmon left rotting in storage. Oh dear. Increased crime and racial violence plague Sarna. This is all bad news. Lack of investment seems to intensify the economic differences between parts of society. In Valgan, economic stagnation. In Grooney, this is all crap. Morbel, soon to be a ghost town. Increased emigration. Oh, this is bad. Even Conriat. What's Conriat saying? Oh. HOS AIDS election campaign. Oh, Marcel Caronti pulling through. Consulting and design work for campaign material. Video material for television. Oh yes, I like it. Smooth over these cracks, Mr. Caronti. Smooth them over. I think Santana's going to be dragged through the streets like Gaddafi. Holy cow, what's the Slave and Times saying? Alfonso Foundation expands reach to Enrica and Arcasia. In a heartening development. Radical. Young Swords join unrest debacle. Oh dear, Young Swords was involved in the recent unrest. Spreading fascism and oppression, apparently. Just resolved to violence. Just like they did when they shot Bernard Circus. That's all fake news, people. The Swordish Great Depression is official. We are in a Great Depression. Our nation will recover. Our nation will endure. Very low public opinion. Oh no! 20% of respondents expressing support. Strong disapproval. Oh my God. NFP welcomes General Luderin's son into their midst. Oh no. I don't think we're getting re-elected, are we, folks? As if it's a shock. Richter's slogan, victory for everyone. I think the Piff Jib are going to get in. Oh no. We need to start a war with Rumberg. If we get another opportunity to start a war with Rumberg, this is our last throw of the dice, people. This is our last throw of the dice If we get an opportunity to go to war, we're taking it. I don't know if that one chance we had was our only chance, but I'm telling you now, if we get another one, we're going to war. This is desperate times now to cling on to power. Retire gracefully or gracelessly, President Ray? No, I'm off to war, old boy. Scheduled television interview, here we go. The makeup crew have just finished their preparations for the interview. Make me look good. We're in a crisis here. Lucian stopped me on the way out to the balcony of the Blue Mansion, where the filming crew was standing ready. Are you ready for the interview, sir? Of course I'm ready. It's born ready. Good. I have done my best to make this happen. This is very important for our administration. The crew is prepared to start filming. Mr. Saka is excited to interview you. As I explained before, it would be bad press to decline this offer. They are the most prestigious interview program in the world. And they are from Kairut. The country is known for its net neutrality. I don't think there will be too much pressure. It's fine, I can handle it. Nothing like a bit of pressure to get the blood pumping. I walked to the balcony and sat on the seat prepared for me, directly across from Mr. Saka. Ah, Mr. President, welcome to One-on-One. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Let us begin with the latest incident between Swordland and Rumburg. An aircraft of the Swordish Air Force was shot down by Rumburgian anti-air guns a few weeks ago. Officials from the Rumburgian government proclaimed that the aircraft was flying inside the airspace of Rumburg. Just a few days after the incident, Swordish anti-air guns shot down a Rumburgian airplane. This time, your government proclaimed exactly the same, while the Rumburgian government insisted that the plane was inside their airspace. Many argue that this was not a coincidence and the Swordish army acted intentionally in retaliation. Did you give such an order? We could skirt the issue. Politicians' answer, after all. Claim is nonsense. Our plane was shot down inside our borders. But what about the attack from your side? It doesn't seem like an accident. Of course it wasn't an accident. It was done in retaliation. I can't believe I was saying it before it came up. Of course it wasn't an accident. It was done in retaliation. In fact, no. Their plane, it's a bit of calm here, their plane breached our airspace. Our forces only reacted in response to that. National defense, I think you'll find it's called. Are you saying that the Rumburgian officials are lying? Are you absolutely certain that their plane was inside Swordish airspace? I'm absolutely sure. You calling me a liar, Thomas? They breached our airspace. Do you believe these harassments could lead to an actual war between Swordland and Rumburg in the future? Oh, God. We will have to see. But if they want war, they will get it. This week, both the Arcasian and United Kuntanan governments have condemned the airplane incident. Do you think they would be willing to serve as mediators in the case of a broader conflict between your countries? I don't expect much from them, if I'm being totally honest. He stopped for a moment and took a brief look at his papers. Let's continue on that note. I want to expand a little more on your foreign policy. Let's talk about the ongoing conflict around Heliland Island. I believe Swordland stands together with Valsland on this matter. In fact, despite condemnation from Agnolian leader Van Horten, you recognise Helluland as rightful Valslandian land. According to reports from yesterday, the Valslandian navy has attacked the Agnolian fleet at Helluland Island. Today, Prime Minister Van Horten confirmed the invasion. He said Valslandian troops have landed on the island. So here is my question. What is Swordland's role in all of this, and what will it be going forwards? We stand with Valsland in their rightful intervention in the island. Will Swordland also get involved if the situation gets out of control? I hope the situation won't come to that. Because we've got our own forces that we need to be using against Runba. We can't spread them too thinly, can we, after all? But what if it does, Mr. President? Then we might get involved. Oh no, it won't. Keep our cards as close to our chest as we can on that one. Okay, let's move on to another topic. Last year, a huge conflict took place close to your borders with Valen, when the Wesek forces partook in a massacre of Bludish civilians under the guise of eliminating the Bludish Freedom Front. Swordland decided to watch the atrocities take place. In fact, you not only closed the borders to the refugees fleeing from a massacre, your border guards worked in cooperation with the Wesek forces. Will you accept responsibility of thousands of lives that were lost in Valen? You know what? We might need their support. Yes, it's true. We did work with Mr. Smolak, but I don't think anyone can blame us for protecting our borders. Many have criticised Swordland for its role in this conflict. Do you not accept any of the criticisms? No. There is nothing wrong with protecting our country. You could have... On the gesture of the director, he stopped before finishing his sentence. Well, it seems that's all we have time for today. The director shouted at the crew to stop recording. We both stood up and shook hands. Thank you for your valuable time, Mr. President. It was a pleasure. Can't say the same, if I'm being brutally honest. Or should we insult him? He's just a presenter. I thought your line of questioning was rather biased, if I'm brutally honest. But thank you anyway. His expression soured. Well, thanks again for the opportunity. Yes. Lucian walked up to the director and started talking to him. I went inside the building. Are we trying to set ourselves on fire here? Holy cow. Mr. President, things are getting too much now for you, clearly. The Swordish Great Depression. Oh, a distressing phenomena. Business shutters their doors, investors flee. Oh dear. Unemployment rates skyrocket to unprecedented heights, GDP plunging to an all-time low. Pretty grim picture. Yes. Apparently our subpar leadership is to blame. Our disastrous tenure has cemented his position as the most deplorable president in the annals of Swordland's history. You're just sour because Mr. Tusk is dead. Swordish champions! Oh, here we go. It's the McCopen Cup. Remember this from the first time. Living standards suffer and neck deep in mud. We are in the pit of an economic depression. People losing jobs, houses, lives. Either the president lacks the competency of a leader or pleasures himself on the suffering of others. Oh, you're going right into the mud yourselves with that slur. Swordland's citizens' life expectancy at its lowest in history. Oh, whatever. Oh, Valsland now occupies Helluland. Woohoo! With only a small amount of casualties. Very good. You can condemn the invasion all you want. You're a loser. That's why you condemn. Oh, condemn. Loser's prerogative to moan about it. Helluland is back under Valsland control. Okay. Which frees them up to help us in a war, should one break out. Controversial PR visit. Following a brief visit to the Shaven, there's been an outcry against the unpopular president, with violent protests feared to be imminent. The city is deeply unhappy with the president's term. That's my hometown, by the way. Bluish opinion low. Oh, everyone's calling for my resignation. Holy cow. Lesby raises alert over Ravnos Island. Yeah, we need this war to happen. It's the only time. It's the only way we're going to get saved. We have to instigate war. We have to. We have no choice. War must come. War needs to happen. Rumburg need to fall. We need to be seen as a strong and capable military saviour of this country to switch people round right before the election. It's our only hope. Yeah, maybe. I think we've still got another chance to start war yet. I woke up early in the morning as usual, put my clothes on and went downstairs. I made a cup of finely ground Swedish coffee and a slice of buttered toast and sat down in front of the TV to watch the morning news. The phone rang, jumped out of my skin, spilt my coffee on myself. Picked it up. Ringing me at this hour. Just having my bloody coffee and toast. Peter Vecton is on the line. Punch him in. Anton. Bad news. Yes, Peter? I just received word that they started the impeachment process. Oh! Oh no! I thought we got past this bit. I thought we were safe. Oh, why? What's happened? You mean impeachment? What impeachment? For what? To be frank, we might be screwed. We're talking about a major scandal. I took notes from their report, and here's what it says. President Rain abused his powers to send his son Frank Rain to haul swords. Oh, can't be just because of that, surely. No. President Rain has been secretly funding the young swords behind the scenes. What? President Rain has been in cahoots with the media mogul Marcel Caronti. At Mr. Caronti's country club in Conriat, they struck a deal in which Mr. Caronti agreed to sway the media in favour of the president. How did... President Rain ordered the secret state police to kill Livia sooner? That can't be true, can it? You told me she quit. Where have they got all this information from? Who's... God damn this shit. The list goes on and on. I'm still on your side, of course, but they've built up a pretty solid case against you. Somebody has been a mole here. Some of this stuff shouldn't be known. We need to stay optimistic. We may still have a chance. We need war. We need a war with Rumburg, which would enact a state of emergency, which would probably put a pause to the constitutional things. We need it now. We need it now. We need it now. We need a war. We need something like a cornered animal right now. Where's Iosif? Iosif, invade Rumburg and invade them now. I want war today. But for now, I'll give you a moment. Hang in there, buddy. The impeachment process has got to be a long process, surely. There's time to be had here. Right, we need war. We need war. I need war now. 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 Oh my flipping godfathers. Where the hell do we go from here? Private meeting with Lilias Graff. I bet she's behind this, you know. She is the Interior Minister, Secret State Police. She wants my job. She's dropped us in it. She is going to tell me now that I've screwed up and she's going to take my place and run against me. This bitch. We've got to look calm. Impeachment here is looming again. I dodged it the first time, but this time it's much more serious. The historic Graff Manor lay on the outskirts of Avery, at the end of a long winding drive. Nearly 2 centuries old, it was as formidable as Lilias herself. She invited me here for a private dinner, just the 2 of us. I wasn't sure of her motivations, but was happy to have an excuse to escape to the chaos back in Hallsword. Sergei dropped me off at the door. I used a heavy brass knocker to signal my arrival. The butler answered and showed me into the parlour. Gas lanterns lent the wood, panelled room a cosy orange glow. Lilias was sitting on the sofa. Above her hung a nearly life-size portrait of a sallow, unhappy-looking young woman in a lace ball gown. That's your mother? Lilias nodded. I was her only child, you know. Giving birth to me left her medically unable to conceive. My father never could forgive her for not bearing him a son. She never forgave me. She took a measured sip of one of the 2 glasses of sparkling wine she was holding and handed me the other. Sounds like a painful childhood. The silver lining is that, despite personally despising me, they felt compelled to grant me all the advantages a son would have had, including the education I needed to rise to my current position. Yes. Would you be so kind as to tell me why you have invited me over? Given how your wife spends her time these days, I thought you might be in need of a home-cooked supper. The butler silently stepped into the parlour and rang a silver bell. Ah, speaking of which... She led me into the dining room, where a glittering chandelier hung from the high ceiling. Beneath it was a long table set for 2. A woman in an apron and a chef's hat, Wezek by her appearance, ceremoniously presented a roast rack of venison. Smells delicious. The groundkeeper shot it this morning. Lilias bowed her head and said a quick prayer, then motioned for me to dig in. It was some of the best meat I'd ever had. We ate in silence for a while, then Lilias pensively laid down her cutlery. I've got visions of me ending up face down in the plate. She's poisoned me. Anton, thank you for all the help you've given to my ministry during your term. I'm all the more grateful, considering it wasn't even initially a priority of yours, and placing the gendarmerie under my jurisdiction was above and beyond my highest expectations. I was thrilled when you recognised Swordish School's right to religious expression over Miss Wilder's ridiculous objections. I was less enthused about your decision to pump our children full of strange chemicals in response to some unconfirmed health threat. Regardless, I'm looking forward to working more closely together during your next term. Hang on. Oh, if I end up with a next term, Lilias, have you not heard the news? I'll drink to that. No, she's a God-fearing woman. God willing. God willing. Lilias raised her glass and smiled. We clinked glasses. By the end of the meal, I was pleasantly full and a little tipsy. The butler had to lead me back through the manor's winding corridors until I found the door. I waved at Lilias out the window as Sergei pulled away. The coming campaign would be turbulent, but at least I had her on my side. She's quite a powerful person, but can she make an impeachment go away in the face of all that evidence? Or so I hoped. I think if she was going to be against me, she'd make it plain in this meeting. So I think we've got her on side here. That's one less thing to worry about, but still plenty more to worry about, such as the military parade. Look, we can't. President Rain was rather subdued in that meeting, as you saw. He was playing very pensively, very tentatively, but a slight glimmer. And now it's the military parade. So we've still got to hang our hat on the possibility and the hope that we can instigate war with Rumberg. Because hopefully that will suspend any kind of impeachment process. We're in a war. You can't impeach your president when we're at flipping war, can you? Come on now. And the military, don't forget, folks, if you look at the military situation, they have heavy interference in politics. Surely we can use them to our advantage. Somehow. Storm the court. Supreme Court, storm it and get rid of all of them. Kill Orso. Hawker. It's my solution to everything. Just kill everybody who doesn't like me. At this point. It's desperate now. Military parade time. Right, come on. Gotta look smart, military, power. It was an unusual day for the residents of Halsall. Regularly used streets and avenues were blocked off by the military personnel. Many shops and cafes were closed, and once crowded stores were now empty. Instead, thousands of residents in Halsall were concentrated in one street, Victory Avenue. Stretching out through the heart of Swordland, people on both sides of the road were waving their Swordish flags proudly for the military parade. I was getting prepared to embark on my trip. It's going to be a short drive down Victory Avenue until we reached Maroon Palace. My company for this trip was Iosif, with Sergei. As usual, driving the presidential car. Iosif approached me. He was wearing his decorated ceremony outfit. He carried a sword with a goat head at the handle and his pistol by his hip. He put on his cap. Yeah, if we were to be impeached or whatever, can you imagine? Iosif and General Kruger, they'd be very unhappy. Mr. President, we are almost ready. We will depart right after the tank column. I wonder if we can instigate a civil war. Oh, God, what am I saying? This is desperate times. Good! Rumberg will think twice after today. We don't want them to think twice anymore. We want to actually entice them in. Good. Iosif nodded. After hearing the loud thump of a book falling down to the floor, he turned to a couple of privates that were doing the preparations on the schedule and started walking in their direction. Private! Can't you do your job properly? I watched the young soldiers perform a lousy salute to Iosif. What is that salute, soldier? Watch! This is a real salute. He performed an excellent salute and after scolding the privates, he walked back. Strict as ever, I see. I like it. Oh, old habits die hard. Sergei appeared from the entrance and joined us. Mr. President, Mr. Lancer. Sergei performed a salute to Iosif, which made Iosif smile under his moustache. At ease, Mr. Volkner. Are we ready to depart yet? Yes, sir. Follow me, please. We started following Sergei through the corridors. Mr. President, have you seen the tanks? Our planes, too. Rumberg will be so scared when they see this. That's the plan. A great one, I'd say. My kids were very excited to wake up today, to see the planes fly. Sergei, where did you do your military service? Oh, Molna, 7th Artillery Squadron. I still talk with many of my friends from those days. Ah, the camaraderie of military is never forgotten. I'm still in touch with my friends from basic training as well. What about you, sir? Where did you serve? Oh, all over Swordland, Mr. President was under my command once, Gumrun Outpost. He turned to me. Do you remember those days? Who can forget about Major Lancer? We called him the Relentless. I also let out a long laugh. Good old days. We are here, sir. We exited the building and walked over to the clearance where the Black Cadilla, the presidential car, was waiting. It was decorated properly for the event, and the top canopy had been removed so that we could stand and wave to the people. Yeah, to the people what was dead. On the way to the car, generals and admirals were lined up on both sides of the carpet. The atmosphere immediately changed when these experienced men who fought many times for their country saluted me. I saluted back with respect. We entered the car and Sergei started the engine. Iosif was standing right next to me. The car started rolling. Even though there were many walls and trees in between the car and the crowd, I was able to hear the deafening sounds of cheering soldier citizens. Gradually, we made our way to the starting point. A couple of old propeller planes flew above our heads, and I thought whether the planes were older than me. Loud footsteps of the marching soldiers were followed by loud noises coming from tank engines. The tanks came into my view. They were top-of-the-line modern battle tanks. Their shining armour under the sun invigorated national pride. We waited for a few minutes for the announcement. Finally, it was our turn. On both sides of Victory Avenue, there were numerous citizens cheering my name. Oh, well, okay. Waving their swordish flags. Can you imagine if we get a war and win a war? I think we could well be. I think we still could be all right. Citizens cheering, still cheering my name, still cheering my name. A very small handful, probably. We will salute. Or should we raise our fist? Should we raise our fist? I think we should raise our fist. This is fight. Does it sound familiar? Fight! Fight! It's a military parade. We better salute. We'll salute. Looking at the benches where the General Staff was sitting at, I saw Tarquin Sol sitting next to General Vulcan. Did he turn up last time? We kept our slow and steady pace. We were almost at the Arthur S. Wishy statue several hundred metres away. A group of soldiers saluted me as we passed by. They looked proud and stout in the new infantry uniforms and with brand new rifles. We continued on as per the schedule and finally arrived at the Maroon Palace, which marked the end of the parade. People of Holsword dispersed to their homes. A clear message was sent to Rumburg by the display of our military might. We were about to see whether it would be enough or not. It would probably be enough, but we don't want it to be enough. We want war. We want war. We want it now. Will of the state. God. Oh no, this is bad. What's happening with the impeachment process? Speak to me, game. Speak to me. Speak to me. Oh, the World Gathering of the Alliance of Nations is coming. We know what that's about. Schedule for the Alliance of Nations is coming. We know what that's about. The Macopan Champions... Oh, we're going to skip through this one quickly. This was us. Alfonso, Tarquin. Okay. So obviously Enrica qualified for the knockout phase. So we'll get to the good bits. A win today would bring Enrica to the quarterfinals. Happy days. And all the presidents of Swordland, current and former, were invited to watch the historic competition. I was told that Tarquin, Sol and Alfonso would be joining me in the lounge. How are you feeling, sir? I'm fine, Lucian, thank you. Okay. In we go. Tarquin Sol's name is everywhere. Restaurants, even pubs named after him. Well, obviously we know why. It's one of your mayor here or something. Am I imagining things, or did we just pass a pub called Alcasol? I'm afraid we did, sir. I've heard it's part of an ad campaign for Enrica, an attempt to draw tourists, or at least Solis ones, to the city. Sol's legacy still lives on for millions, after all. Oh, Lucian's radio crackled. Sir, the security gave us the clear and informed us that Tarquin Sol has already arrived at the lounge. Good luck, I know he's quite the imposing presence. Please follow the guards to the top floor. You will be seated in the VIP lounge. I'll save you some snacks. Hall of Martyrs. Right, corridors adorning. We were greeted by the president of the club, who shook our hand. Behind him, Mayor Curtin Lest and Gus Manger were waiting to greet me as well. Mr. Lest, fancy seeing you here. Welcome to Enrica, Mr. President, he says through gritted teeth. I didn't expect you to show us your support in person. Thanks for being here. This match means a lot for all us Enricans. And all of Swordland. Never before has a Swordish team reached this stage in the Macopan Cup. Yes. It's great to be here in Enrica. Thanks for coming. President walks in, hands us gift bags full of merchandise, and is giving us a speech. Yes, yada yada. Football. Tarquin Saul was already seated on the leather sofa, casting his hawk-like gaze out onto the field. He did not react when I entered. Good to see you, Mr. Saul. He leaned on his cane and turned his head to look at me. Ah, Mr. Rain, I didn't hear you come in. He smiled and gestured at the vacant spot beside him. Please, join me. I approached the sofa and sat next to him. I didn't expect you to show up today. It is heartening to see that you're a supporter of FC Enrica and Swordish sports. Didn't know you were a football fan. You know, I couldn't miss this historic moment. He gestured to the Enrica pin on his lapel. I'm sure the team will give their all, knowing that you and I are watching them. Unless they crack under pressure, of course. Tell me, is everything very well after your emergency, Mr. Rain? Everything's running as smoothly as possible. That's very good to hear. I hope it stays that way. Despite all the warning signs, you adamantly followed your own pig-headed vision for Swordland. You continued on the path that Ewald Alfonso started, obliterating our economy and throwing the nation into a quagmire of poverty and depression. You are running the country as if it's a business, destroying free Swordish welfare, and with it, the life of the average sword. I'm warning you, Anton. The path you've chosen will only bring about disparity and regression. I understand your concerns, sir, but I beg to differ. Be careful, Mr. Rain. You are pulling all of Eastern Macopa into a bloody conflict with Rumburg. I truly hope you are ready for what's coming, for all of our sakes. Why are you so scared, Colonel? If the Rums come, we will show them hell. I have nothing but faith in this country and its fine military, but both are nothing without a strong leader to guide them. I rebuilt this republic with my own sweat and blood. I will not see it collapse again. And I will never let that happen. In fact, if something will collapse, it will be Rumburg. Good. At least you have the spirit. Ooh, hang fire. I know we've had our differences, to say the least, Mr. Saul. But I cannot argue with your brilliance on the battlefield. If we do go to war with Rumburg, would you consider offering your military guidance, perhaps? You are taking a risk going over the head of General Kruger, son. And if and when that fateful day comes, I will not stand idly by and watch my country fall. I will tell you that much. A sudden burst of cheering from the stadium made both of us look out the window. The players had begun walking out onto the field. Look, Mr. Rain, it's starting. He pointed directly at the group of Enrica fans who stood up and holding coloured boards, creating a massive illustration of Tarquin Saul. Under the portrait, the bottom row of boards slowly revealed the words, "Welcome home, Colonel." Keep watching. As if plastering my name everywhere in the city wasn't enough. I suppose I'm flattered. Okay. We'll eat you whole for Colonel Saul. And in comes Alfonso. Well, Colonel, how do you feel about being Enrique's new poster boy? Looks like he's working well for the city. And if you move back home, I'm sure you get free meals and drinks everywhere you went. He walks up, shakes her hands, and then sits down next to her, smiling. You know I never had strong connection to this place. Mr. Lest should have asked my permission before using my name to market his city. Oh, it was actually Gus Manger's idea. Why am I not surprised? He's full of ideas, your Mr. Manger, except when it comes to the job he's actually supposed to be doing. No need to be so dismissive. Gus has proven himself time and again. His work rejuvenated Sawdust Industries, and without him, Enrica wouldn't be the city it is today. We'll stay silent, because Gus has failed with the Grooney plan after all. All of the man's so-called accomplishments have been purely accidental. You say that, Mr. Sol, but Mr. Manger is a respectable professional who actually loves his country. More like an errand boy, doing the bidding of those who line his pockets. Alfonso sighed. I don't intend to take on the role of his personal spokesman. You know, just then, there's a breakaway down the field. The crowd erupts into cheers, and the ball is working its way closer to the goal. Look, we're going to score. Too predictable. They will make it past the other team's defence. And right in cue, they didn't. With your strategy skills, you should be a football coach, Colonel. Don't make me laugh. Alfonso turned to me. How about you, Mr. Rain? It's been a while since we last met. Is everything going well at the palace? Everything is fine, Ewald. Thank you for asking. That's a relief. Suddenly a huge roar shook the stadium. The crowd was in a frenzy as the Enrican players got the ball past the Riesian defenders. Considering that Rumberg is actively pushing for war, you seem too composed and calm, Mr. Rain. Rumberg may be a massive world power, Ewald, but nobody should underestimate Swordland. You will see what we are capable of. Just then, Monteclair midfielders executed an incredibly fast counter-attack, scoring a goal that put them ahead in just a few seconds. The Swordish side of the stadium fell completely silent. Oh, it was bad luck getting a top-tier Riesian team as our opponent. Well, I still applaud our guys for giving their best. Not even FC Gelsord has ever come this far in an international tournament. Yes. Why so? I don't know. Why are you changing the topic anyway? What do you mean? They just scored. The only noise that could be heard from the stadium was shouting from the Riesian side. Monteclair! Monteclair! 1-0. Half-time. Yeah, that was rough. Zeppelin flies overhead at half-time. Giant poster. Alfonso Foundation advert. There he is. Warm smile, twinkle in his eye. Outstretched hand. A compass glowing with a soft golden light. Surrounding him were people from all walks of life and cultures. Tagline. Alfonso Foundation, bringing hope to those in need. One act of kindness at a time. Really? I'm doing my best to increase our exposure and help the homeless of this country. This isn't some commercial advertisement. Just then, the speakers in the stadium started playing a sound recording in full volume. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you a message from the Alfonso Foundation, dedicated to spreading kindness and hope to the less fortunate. Picture a swordland where compassion shines brighter than the stars in the night sky, where the power of generosity uplifts those who need it most. That swordland can exist thanks to the Alfonso Foundation. Led by the charismatic and esteemed President Ewald Alfonso, this foundation is on a mission to make a difference in the lives of our fellow citizens. One act of kindness at a time. You call this kindness? Every Swordish Wren you donate to the Alfonso Foundation helps us provide shelter, food, and a chance for a brighter future to those without a home, without hope. Thanks to the donations of President Ewald Alfonso and esteemed figures like President Anton Rain, as well as thousands of Swordish citizens, The Alfonso Foundation has already lifted thousands out of homelessness. You too, Mr. Rain? I thought you would see through this scheme. Won't you join us in this noble endeavour? Just call the number 1-600-ALFONSO to make your contribution today. Your support will help us extend a helping hand to those in need. The recording ended with a few seconds of upbeat, jazzy background music that slowly faded out. Yes. Suppose it's good to see you helping the poor in some way. Commendable, I suppose. Thanks for the support. You're both mad. Instead of planning a proper affordable housing program, you are spending your time with crap like this. Is this your way of personal redemption? Spending a few wrens out of your billions and portraying yourself as their saviour? Unlike you, Mr. Sol, I'm not portraying myself as a hero here. I retired from politics just like you did, and I'm now using my clout to help the poor. What's so wrong about this? You know I never called myself a hero. Ewald, it was my supporters who portrayed me as one. Don't spin the truth. Maybe they didn't have any other choice back then. Yeah, we'll stay out of this for now. Are you still sore about the party giving you a hard time after I left? Admit it, Ewald. You never could accept being a less popular leader. You hated living under the shadow of what I built. It is true, I did hate working inside your shadow empire, but I succeeded in dismantling a lot of those obstacles you laid out for me, and opened the way for reforms. But you never let the party go free. So it was I who controlled each and every member. I was behind every problem you faced within the USP. Do you really believe that? You are the founder of the party, Mr. Sol. Don't even try to deny your influence over it. I still remember how the party became divided after you stopped supporting me. It's on them for being blind to the progress we were making. Shall we watch the football now, gentlemen? Oh, they continued. Instead of blaming the party, why don't you take a look at yourself? That same party voted me out on their own volition in preference of you. According to you, their only correct decision must have been to elect you as leader, and the rest are completely wrong? Do you think everything is a problem that is specifically created to block you? Take a look at yourself. You are the personification of what we're trying to criticize. Oh, come on now. Let's just all calm down here. We're watching football, aren't we? For God's sake. I agree. Oh, and half-time is back in full swing. Or second half, rather. Right, Hakon Zlatter, this famous Swordfish striker, in front of goal. And it's 1-1! Yes! Says Ewald Alfonso, jumping from his seat. Oh, offside. Oh, bullshit, that wasn't offside! Oh. Sabotage. It was clear in front of the defenders when he received the ball. Halt your endless bickering. The linesman made the right call. The angle was all wrong. A decision like that shouldn't be made without proper evaluation. Yeah, maybe a bit of VAR perhaps. What next? You're going to install cameras and analyse every position from different angles? Fever pitch excitement hit the stadium. Oh, and saved. Damn, that was close. Oh, some more signs in the front row. Did you see that? Group of Riesians. No to war in Makopa. Peace between Rumburg and Swordland. Looks like the Riesians are also scared of a possible war between us and Rumburg. The Taurus family is a puppet of Queen Livingston. If the Queen wants war, Riesians will follow them. They're just a bunch of hippies. Ha! What? Do you think Riesi would aid Rumburg in a war with us? Suddenly a wave of shouting made us focus back on the field. An Enrican player was shown a yellow card. Still 1-0. Everything suddenly changed, however. 2-0. There you go. Well then, that settles it. We should go down and console the boys. We left the lounge, went downstairs to congratulate the team for their efforts. Okie dokie, what have we got here? Heartbreak for Enrica. Never mind, better luck next time. And now we have it. The Alliance of Nation Assembly meeting. This is our chance. This is it. No missteps now. We need to instigate war. There's no other alternative. I, David Wishy, and the rest of the Swordish delegation to the Alliance of Nations arrived in Kairut. The local police escorted us to the Alliance's headquarters in downtown Constantium, immediately recognizable by its gleaming dome. On entering the building, we were met by a parliamentary guide who briefed us about the procedures. After a strict security screening, the staff ushered us to the 3rd floor. We entered the massive circular assembly hall and took our designated seats. David sat next to me. All of the world's most powerful people under one gleaming dome. And I'm glad to be among them. Everyone's words and actions here will change the world, for better or worse. How are you feeling, Anton? Being the subject of so much media attention must take a toll on you and your family. Comes with a job, David. Monica and I have already come to terms with the risk after the inauguration ball. It is tough to be the president, making harsh decisions and dealing with their consequences. I wish I could have supported you more, but time has been a cruel mistress. Don't worry, you've done more than enough, David. From a distance, we could see the President of the General Assembly, Mr. Nines, approaching his designated position. Well, this session is about to start. Let's get comfortable. It's going to be a long day. Mr. Nines opened the session with a short speech and called the first speaker to the floor. It's my great pleasure to invite the Prime Minister of Lesbia to address the Assembly. The drunkard Patricio Alvarez, of course. Mr. President, it's my pleasure to return to this podium. David leaned in and spoke in a low voice. Let's see how crazy this here session will get. Surprised he isn't drunk. When I last spoke here, the message I gave was of encouragement and support to this organization and the vital role it plays. Of all the challenges Eastern Macopa and the whole world has faced since then, one has grown larger and more imminent than any other. The threat of the so-called socialist states and the actions taken by their authoritarian rulers with no regard to international law. A loud noise came from the table of Valsland. I saw Emmerich Hegel pounding his fists on the table in protest. Looks like the Chancellor is already mad. That's good for us, actually. David nodded. Today, the need to come together as leaders of the free world is more important than ever. The CSP, under the leadership of United Contana, has been fueling Valsland's military-industrial complex and its expansionist aims in eastern Macopa. The world turned a blind eye when the armies of Valsland occupied Helgoland, and they did not stop there. According to our intelligence reports, United Contana made nuclear missiles were quickly deployed to the island. He pulled out a photograph. Even though it was hard to see from my position, I recognized it as an aerial image of Helgoland. We demand that the Chancellor speak the truth. As you can all see, we have evidence of the construction of silos. think that's true? Honestly, this was always likely to happen, but so soon after the occupation. I didn't expect that. David looked concerned. No Eastern Macopan nation can accept the installation of weapons of mass destruction in the middle of our Marchian Sea. Emmerich Hegel stood up and kept pounding his fists. We hereby call for the immediate dismantling and withdrawal of all missiles and other offensive weapons from Heliland. We invite all the member states to support our call for a resolution in accordance with Article 11 of the Falenco Treaty. A lot of noise came from the Assembly Hall in response. Most of the Western Macopan delegates were clapping, while others either shouted in protest or sat in stony silence. Let us also not forget about the recent events that transpired in another state with socialist teachings. A state that wages war against its own innocent citizens. Valen. Right, innocent citizens. Forgetting about the violence of the BFF, are we? David nodded disapprovingly. Their purge of the minorities in their country was, again, largely ignored by the international community. I would go as far to call it genocide. Wayland violated our past treaties and mobilized their armed forces, deploying them close to our borders and authorizing them to partake in massacres. Lesbia was affected not only by the large waves of refugees coming from Wayland, but by the subsequent government seizure of all of our companies that were active in the country. We hereby call the member states to action against Wayland and its rogue government. Thank you. Did not react to his speech. He went back to his seat amidst enthusiastic applause from most of the Macopan delegates. President Nines waited for the noise to calm down and invited the next speaker, the President of Wayland, Victor Smolak. He stood up. As he walked past Patricio Alvarez, he brushed him aside with an exaggerated sweep of his arms. When he reached the podium, he fumbled with the microphone for a few seconds. Then he smiled at Alvarez mockingly as he raised the height of it. I think the real chaos will start now. Let's hope not. Victor turned to President Nines and bowed slightly. Mr. President. He then turned back at us and stared out into the hall for a few seconds. Fellow delegates. It is true that the world today faces a multitude of challenges. In the midst of these challenges, the world's most powerful leaders gather here in Kairut. And what do? They make threats, promote hate and spread lies. Is this the alliance of nations we all want? Where is the cooperation and friendship? Where is the unity? I want to remind you of the wars that the West fought on our soil, of the foreign troops who occupied our country and seized our valuable resources. I want to remind you how they stole the oil from our sacred soil, and they did not know when to stop. The ATO soldiers left, but their interference never ceased. They financed armed rebel groups whose only purpose is to create terror inside our country. So, fellow delegates, do not dare speak about Wayland before you acknowledge your involvement in our civil war, before you acknowledge your own dark past. As is well known, after the tremendous tragedy of Wayland Civil War, Arcasia made a deal with the United Quintana where they agreed upon the withdrawal of their troops along with the removal of half of our army. Not only did they weaken us, we were left alone in facing the genocidal Bluish Freedom Front, which the ATO funds together with Rumberg. Just like the delegate before me, I will show you some of the evidence of foreign interference. He picked up a large stack of papers and waved them back and forth. I have clear evidence of direct aid from Rumberg to the Bluish Freedom Front. They smuggled tons of Ka-74s in Wayland. They smuggled in their spies, smuggled in mercenary commanders. We'll get our chance to speak. We're not the only ones, you see, that has had this problem. So it seems. These documents will be published everywhere. Copies have already been sent to the investigative affairs of the Alliance of Nations. I expect this organisation to do its task and investigate this properly, instead of leaving Valen behind, as they have always done. Coming back to the claims of the lesbian representative, first, there is no evidence of civilian massacres by Vesic forces, nor so-called purges of minorities. Second, the operation was limited only to the militant BFF, not the Bloons in general. Third, we know your government is also implicated in the funding of the BFF, and that your oil companies aided their militants during the operation. Fourth, as the state, we only took what was ours. The companies the delegates spoke of were not only aiding militants, they were brought to Valen by force. Know that Valen will no longer recognise the rights of any other country to determine what type of weapons we are permitted to possess or what type of policies we follow within our borders. Valen stands stronger and more united than ever. Our people have spoken. The enemies inside our borders are crushed. Now, I ask every delegate here to read our report on the connections of the West with the armed militants in eastern Macopa, and I ask the Alliance of Nations to do what's right. Valen only wants peace. Our people want peace. They are counting on the support and understanding of all the nations of the world. Their proclamation is Free Valen or Death. The assembly roared with particularly loud applause coming from the seats of Rican nations. We'll stand up and applaud. Why not? Victor slowly walked back to his seat as he applauded himself. He saluted the Rican delegates as he passed them. Next, President Nines invited Martin van Horten to the podium. He was frowning and clenching his fists. I could see his jaw trembling. Oh dear, he looks pissed. Can we blame him? Valgsland has just occupied Helliland. Mr. President, fellow delegates of the Assembly, and friends, it is an honour to be with you today. I wish we could meet under different circumstances. Once again, the CSP nations, and in particular Valgsland, have shown us what they're willing to do to achieve their political aims. I must sadly say that the world has left us alone. We were one of the first countries to propose proper cooperation among Eastern Macopan nations. Yet, when we were threatened by Valgslandian expansionism, nobody came to our side. Although Mr. Alvarez voiced his indirect support for us earlier in today's session, I can't keep myself from wondering where he was when our lands were under invasion by the very socialists he spoke about. So here I am, asking for the support of the fellow member states of the Alliance of Nations. Agnolia is under attack by Valgsland. A loud banging noise emerged from the table of the Valgslandian delegates. All of them were pounding their fists on the table. Mr. President, please moderate the assembly. This is more than disrespectful. Emmerich Hegel began shouting curses as Nines repeatedly banged his gavel for order. After a minute of back and forth shouting, the noise settled and Nines allowed Martin to continue. As you all know, Helliland, which has been a territory of Agnolia for more than 3 decades, was invaded by Valgsland in a sudden attack. Not only did they unlawfully occupy our land, they brought nuclear missiles to the island the moment our forces retreated. Millenniavist terror surrounds us on all sides. We must not falter. I invite all member states to find a resolution in accordance with Article 11 of the Falenko Treaty, enforcing the immediate dismantling of all missiles from Helliland. I must also remind you that under Article 3 of the Ventry City Treaty, the Alliance of Nations must ensure the withdrawal of the occupying force from the island. I call the democratic world to action against the tyranny of millenniavism, authoritarianism, militarism, and extremism. The banging noises started again. Hegel stood up and approached the rostrum. You are a spineless jerk, a lackey of Arcasian imperialism. President Nines called for silence and started hitting the gavel. I should have spoken up in Hegel's favour. Never mind. All of your complaints against us are as a direct result of your capitalist and neo-colonialist systems. President Nines, please, what is this? President Nines smacked his gavel in vain as shouting match broke out in the assembly. Finally, after a few minutes, the other Volkslandian delegates convinced Hegel to sit back down. I believe I don't need to speak more about this subject. Everything is clear as day. Mr. Hegel's actions speak volumes about the reality of Volksland and their corrupted ideology. I hope to see this conflict resolved with the help of the Alliance of Nations soon. He quickly left the podium and nodded to the other Agnolian delegate. The two left the assembly hall. Hegel's turn. Thank you. Buckle up, David. It's the Chancellor's time now. Looks like you're having fun, Mr. President. First of all, I want to extend a due welcome to the new states from Rica that have joined this organization. After fighting for years against colonialism and imperialism, they more than earned our membership vote. I am overjoyed to see them finally represented in this assembly. As our numbers grow and more states are represented in this stage, we come ever closer to finding resolutions to the conflicts that plague us. For hundreds of years, the dominant economies of Mercopa razed, pillaged, and exploited the continents of Rica and Xena. Sadly, Volksland was also a part of this plunder in the years before the revolution, when it still clung to the idea of imperialism. But when our masses found their voice, the old colonial powers and their new financiers turned against them. These powers did whatever they could to hamper our revolutions. They did not want the people to be heard. They are scared of us for showing the possibility of a better path. Of course, they don't want us to succeed. We threaten the productivity that runs on the blood and sweat of their working class. And now they have started labeling us the aggressors. Yet we all know it was the Arcasians who built up military bases all around Mercopa. It was the ATO that was first formed to fight against millennialism. Helliland was, is, and will be Volkslandian territory. Our intervention in the island was completely justified. Other delegates brought up the Falenko and Ventry City treaties. However, they are forgetting about the Treaty of Constantium. Volksland exercised its right to intervene on behalf of our people who were being oppressed and massacred by the Agnolian government, just because they did not recognize an appointed governor. They didn't get to elect one. We acted in full accordance with the second article of the treaty. If there's a side to be blamed, it is the state which murders its minorities for publicly showing support to our nation. There were also claims about illegal missiles. No country in the world has the right to determine what type of weapons we import. If there's a conflict the Alliance can resolve, let's start with the Arcasian base on Ravnos Island. Lesbia has been housing Arcasian troops and missiles by our border for years, and none of the member states even talked about it. I also want the member states to look into the Arcasian bases in Lesbia. And if the Alliance of Nations truly claims to have the best interest of the people at heart, they cannot stay silent about what the Agnolian government did in Helliland, how they took away the rights of our people. Perhaps then there can be proper dialogue between our nations, and the Alliance of Nations can finally demonstrate that it could serve its intended purpose. But unfortunately, the Alliance of Nations remains all too willing to overlook such human rights violations. However, the Volkslandian government is ready as always to fight the forces of oppression and colonial servitude on behalf of free people everywhere. He raised his left fist. Ir Wurulton Veskor. stand up and applaud his speech too. Thunderous applause from Zina, Rika and Contana. Hegel shook hands as he walked back to his seat. Queen Beatrice's turn. Oh boy. Dear President of the Assembly, dear delegates, dear leaders of the world, just as my fellow Eastern Macopan delegates spoke about the troubles plaguing our continent, I also have to bring attention to a growing threat in our region. Swordland. As you know, not long ago, Swordish aircraft with offensive capabilities were spotted inside our borders. A few days later, they shot down one of our planes inside our own airspace. It was practically an act of war. Know this, Rumberg will do anything in its power to defend itself and its interests, whether Swordland is actually planning something or not. Our Swordish neighbours and what they've been doing is very concerning. They took in traitors and gave them protection. Their president himself came to power amid murder and unrest, yet people from his administration had the guts to blame our government for inciting violence. And they expect the world to believe their lies? No, let her speak. Let her finish. Let her finish. We're listening with great interest here. Swordland closed their borders to innocent Bluedish people fleeing from being massacred by the Wessex forces. They even supported and cooperated with Valen in their ethnic war against the Bluedish people. And inside their country, they've been systematically pushing the Bluedish people away from representation. I wish to extend my sympathies to the banned Bluedish organisations and all Bluedish people that have to live through the oppression of the Swordish authorities. I hereby invite all of you to determine the initiation of a proper intergovernmental investigation into Swordland. If the Alliance continues to shirk its given duties, you can trust in Rumberg to take matters into her own hands. It is also important to point out that Rumberg will not stand idly by if more Contanan and Arcasian military are transferred to Eastern Macopa. I hereby condemn both the CSP and ATO for trying to influence our region with their military power. And before I finish, I also want to say, Mr. Smolak, I'm looking forward to reading your report. I wonder what this so-called evidence is all about. Know that your slander does not work on us. Know that we are ready to die for our freedom. Know that our kingdom stands firm and strong. Expect a grand awakening. Oh, expect an awakening, all right, my love. An awakening you shall have. Thank you. Grand awakening. Bring it on, I say. That sounded like a threat. Indeed it did, David, and I don't respond very well to threats, I'm afraid. She left the rostrum without getting much applause. Then President Nines spoke my name. Oh boy. Mr. Anton Rain, President of Swordland, I invite you to address the Assembly. David immediately started applauding. Good luck, Mr. President. I walked up to the rostrum and took my place at the podium. In front of me were some of the most powerful leaders in the entire world. I looked them in the eyes. The representation of Swordland is pleased to address this assembly. very careful here. I need to instigate war. I can't miss my opportunity. The speakers who have preceded me have expressed their concern about their problems. We too are concerned about some of those problems and would like to expand on them. I'm not sure any of these really. Although this is probably the most poignant. If Rumberg ever had any ideas of expansion. Our century is the century of the struggle for freedom, the century of liberation from foreign occupation. And it's time to ask the hard questions. Ask if this organisation is achieving any of its aims. And now I'd like to address some of the topics mentioned here today. It was earlier claimed that Valen was involved in a genocide. Such words, such strong words, shouldn't be spoken without proper evidence. Swordland stands together with the Wessex people. And thus I would also like to respond to Mr. Van Horten. He must first look at his own actions in Helluland, which started this chain of events. Valgland only wishes to achieve freedom for the people of the world. Swordland sympathises with that noble cause. Henrik Hegel started applauding. Let's butter up our allies here. And so I would also finally like to address the Queen of Rumberg. The real threat to Eastern Macopa has always been Rumberg. Today, it's still the case. It was Rumberg who shot our aircraft within our airspace. We only defended our borders. I don't want her to back down, so if we present evidence that they've done wrong, is that going to make it less likely that she's going to attack? I don't know. Oh, I'll keep going. We also have evidence to show to the Assembly. Mr. Smolak was right about the KA-74s. Rumberg has definitely been arming the BFF in Swordland. There is another piece of evidence that we have, an important piece, provided to us by someone close to the Rumbergian government, no less. Mr. Hailstone was branded as a traitor in Rumburg for blowing the whistle on the country's hidden nuclear facilities. I hereby call on the Alliance of Nations to support Swordland. We are facing an existential threat. I don't want any resolution from the AN. I'll resolve this myself. Now, I would like to bring my speech to a close. I kind of want to stoke the flames a little bit. Yeah, we'll go with this one. If the right actions are not taken, it will be quite evident that the international relations cannot continue on such a basis. And the people of Swordland and I are honoured to have expressed our concerns before this noble assembly. I don't want them to do anything. Long live unity and peace. No, we're not having peace. It'll have to be that one. Amogna West Core. There was some applause. We're going to raise our fist too. Why the hell not? Fist in the air before we step down. Fighting talk here, boys and girls. No, David continuing to applaud until we sat down. Thank you, David. It's not a bad speech, Mr. President. You did well. Okay, so here comes Dwight Walker. Kind of skip through these ones a little bit. Yep, congratulations, fellow friends. Yada yada. Contaminant security pacts expanding. Troubling to see a democratic nation invaded by millennialist powers. Heliland's occupation by Valsland, of course. Attack against the lasting peace the world has enjoyed since century of revolutions. Finger pointing. Oh, Hegel's taking his shoe off again. He's taking his shoe off here. Bangs the table with his shoe. Keep watching eagerly. President Walker continues. Despite its claims, the CSP's actions will only bring about war. Okay. We believe United Cantana and Acacia, together with their allies, could come to an understanding for our mutual benefit and our desire to avoid the destruction of the world. Acting in disregard to international law, with their allies forcefully taking lands and imposing their own values on the people of those lands. We need peaceful cooperation, not nuclear missiles or shows of naval superiority or invasions. If they fail to demilitarize Heliland with complete dismantling of the nuclear missiles and the withdrawal of the occupying Valslandian forces, the ATO will have to take matters into our own hands. Hegel stood up with his shoe. What is that supposed to mean? You're promoting war in the Alliance of Nations? Mr. President, this can't... Nine slammed the gavel down. Silence, please! Mr. Chancellor, please let me finish. We did not interrupt you when you address the Assembly. As the nation should adapt to the times and the changing demographics, peace and rights do not rest in the hands of this organisation alone. They rely on the hearts of the people and the spirit of cooperation between the nations. Let's try to find lasting peace. Thank you. Most of the assembly applauded. Don't react. And time for Mileniev, CSP man. Right in big red Chavatan. Oh, yeah. Okay. Being threatened, disregarded, attacked, or ignored in the assembly. Unfriendly attitude once again being shown by the Arcasia towards us. You're saying that the missiles and the growing base is the means of this peace. When was this peace you talk about? Where was this cooperation between our countries? Have you ever accepted our invitation to talk about denuclearization? If you don't like us, don't accept our deals, don't listen to our concerns, and keep pointing fingers at us. Why did you invite us to the Alliance of Nations? Whether you like it or not, we'll keep representing labourers, the slaves, the oppressed of this world, and believe it or disregard it. History is on our side. We say to the representatives of capitalist countries, come and visit us. Come and see the revolution working in Contana. Show our continent to your people. Lesbian delegates laughing, booing. Socialism will triumph over capitalism in the end, he says. You can keep laughing, gentlemen. Communism will bury you. Suddenly the laughing turned into shouting. If you really believe in cooperation, we will be waiting. We're not going anywhere. However, if the ATO keeps intervening in our matters, it is natural that the CSP would react. Despite the threats from the ATO, Rumberg, or any other nation or organisation, we must not succumb to further division and violence. We must ask ourselves, what do the people of our countries expect of us? They surely don't want war and bloodshed. So let us leave to our children and grandchildren good memories of our time and a better future for all. Let them look at history and say, once there were great divisions and complex problems, but the leaders of the world came together in the Alliance of Nations and succeeded in settling them in order to ensure our peaceful lives. Long live the People's Revolution. Won't answer that either. Massive applause. That was a lot. Yeah, let's grab some lunch. Lead the way. And we walk out to get some fresh air. Right, here we go, folks. Hang fire. My throat is in need of lubrication. All this reading. Concerning security pacts. Oh, that's rubbish. Right, Valgan. Election poll results. 16%. That is paltry. Holy cow. That's not very good at all. 3 missiles on Heliland. Lesbia, Maxlandian missiles on Heliland. Hegel's disgrace at the Alliance of Nations. Shameful behaviour. This is a meeting of the leaders of the world, not a village council. Right. Oof. Come on. Move personal wealth to Kairoot. What? My future in Swordland is in doubt. It might be the right time to diversify my resources by keeping my money reserves safely abroad in case of an unexpected departure. We didn't get this last time. but I think we should do it. Just to be on the safe side. What do you reckon? Right, I think we're going to have to move our funds. I think we're going to have to move our funds, really. Move wealth out, just in case. Republic of Kairoot. President's finances welcomed in Kairoot. Holy cow. Right, here we go. Phone call with Queen of Rumburg. 30 business days. Are we going to die? No, clearly not with the president. Die? Not in our vocabulary. Right now. Right. Just take a quick mouthful of this. Oh, hot. Right. Okay, here we go. The call that could change the face of the world. Can just get pictures sat there. Cigar, coffee, big mug. Do you know like those Sports Direct size mugs? About this big. Full of the strongest, tastiest, sweetest coffee that I've had in a long time. And so the phone rings. And so it was the Queen of Rumburg as expected. Mr. Rain, how pleasing it is to finally get a chance to speak with you in person. I am Queen Beatrice Livingston, the Queen of the Four Corners of Macopa, defender of Castle Sarsba, conqueror of the Tranquil Sea, stout protector of the ancient lands of Roum, descendant of the most honourable King Edward I, and the ruler of Rumburg. How many of those titles did you make up? Aren't those titles a bit old-fashioned? She let out a laugh. I'm afraid protocol must be observed. Now, given the circumstances, I never thought I would be giving you a personal phone call, yet here we are. Even after what Swordland has done, I am showing you my willingness to talk instead of cutting off communication. Why did you call? Get to the chase, my dear. I'm a very busy man. Please listen to me carefully. This is your last chance. Don't make me laugh, last chance. Threatening me, are you? I'm offering you a peaceful way out of your dire situation. My demands are simple. You will give us control of our stolen ancestral homelands, Estord and Narbel. Those cities are surely of lesser importance to you, judging by the way your country has treated them. That's all I ask. If you fail to comply, to put it simply, we will take them by force. A war, Mr. Rain. So please, I beg you to have reason. Think of your citizens. Think of your people. Do not enter a war that you have no chance of winning. You dare ring me, you stupid bitch. You dare insult me, you damn harlot. Your time is over, Your Highness. Along with your country, I will see you on the battlefield. A pity, really. At least my conscience is clear. I have given you a chance, and you refused. You have failed your people. War it is, then, Mr. Rain. You will regret your decision until your last breath. The wine dropped dead. And just like that, the Rumberg War had begun. Oh my God, we're at war, folks! Kingdom of Rumberg. All diplomatic channels closed. Blocked all incoming and outgoing communication. Our intelligence and army reports that the troop movements in the border are indicating a preparation for an invasion. Private meeting with David Vichy. Holy cow. He's going to probably resign. Here he comes. Mr. President, may I come in? Yes, please come in. Thank you. He makes his way towards the chair in front of my desk. First of all, thank you for your time. What's wrong? I wanted to ask how you're doing. Looks like war is truly upon us. It must be taking a toll on you, just like it did on me all those years ago. But of course, I won't presume to understand what you are going through right now. I was never the leader of a nation during wartime, after all. I'm fine, David. Thanks for asking. That's very good. Please be sure to take some time for yourself amid all this. Give me 1 second, folks. This is the call that I was expecting at 8 o'clock. I don't know how long's left in this game, but I have to go in 10 minutes. So we'll get this conversation out of the way, and then we'll end it there, and the next session we shall start to see what happens in the war with Rumberg. It might be a shorter stream next time, but yeah. If you ignore the mental fatigue, it will slowly creep in on you. It will poison your thoughts. Thank you for your advice, David. Thank you for taking my advice over the years. It has been many years since you were in my classroom. If there is one thing I learned from you, it is that power changes people. It makes them do things that were not imaginable before. Desperate times, David, require desperate measures. That is correct, but sometimes the ends do not justify the means. David coughed again, this time for longer. I'm feeling his pain right now. I overheard a conversation the other day near a newspaper stand. It piqued my interest, so I kept listening. They were talking about you. They were calling you a radical centrist. Radical centrist? What do you think about that? I refuse to be called a centrist. I am me. I am unique. I am Mr. Rain. My father, Arthur S. Wishy, used to say, always know yourself. He stopped for a moment and took a quick look at his watch. So, the elections are fast approaching. How are you feeling about your chances? We will win, no matter what. Good. That is what leaders should say. I'm afraid I have an announcement to make. Go on. After the term is done, I will be retiring. Yes, I would be lying if I said I wasn't expecting this. I have been in this line of work for many decades now. I swore an oath to myself years ago I would quit if I ever felt like I didn't have the physical capability to serve anymore. At that point, I would become a hindrance. That time has come, Mr. President. My bones are aching, my hands are shaking, my voice is failing. Besides, I'm sure you can find a younger minister who is a little more full of life. He winked at me and chuckled, which turned into another cough. You've been a mentor, a teacher, and a friend, David. Thank you for your service to this country. It was an honour, Mr. President. David stood up to leave, and I gave him a hug. And we're not a huggy kind of person, but as I did say at some point during this playthrough, that this is the one man that we have the most respect for. Best of luck, Anton. And thank you. He turned around and left. Oh wow. So I'm going to have to end the session here. Friday afternoon in the office. Yeah, just chilling out. Wars on the horizon. Existence of nuclear weapons in Rumberg. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. 6 news articles, lots of reports. So next stream is going to be the final stream of the series, obviously. I think we're almost at the end. But what's going to happen? Will this war with Rumberg save us? Because it needs to. Because we're at risk of being impeached, and we've only got 16% of the vote by the latest polls. So we could be screwed. We've shoved our money in Cairo as an emergency backup plan, but hopefully we can pull it out of the fire. Find out on Sunday as we finish this series off. Thanks for joining me this evening. I've got to dash. We're going shopping now at this late hour. Yeah, right. We're off to Sainsbury's. We're getting some rum for the Christmas stocks with my mate's vouchers. So happy days. I might have to have a couple while I'm out as well. But yeah, have a good evening, folks, and hopefully see you Sunday for the conclusion. Until next time, bye for now. Oh, this is going to get good.